Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm trying to get a video knocked out, but we got storms in this part of the country, like major storms coming through here. And you know what is so silly? My kids, their schools actually they wanted us to send them to school 2 hours late because of thunderstorms. Are you kidding me? When I was a kid, I mean, there could be 10 tornadoes on the ground, and they're gonna make us go to school. And these kids nowadays, same what they wear they make them wear bicycle. This has driven me crazy growing up. These kids, it's the bicycle helmet generation. When I was a kid, we put our hands out in front of us. It's almost like they've intentionally softened this generation, or maybe it's just life. I don't know. Anyway, I may get in trouble for making this video because the kids are still asleep because of this. They're sleeping in. But there's too much interesting stuff going on, so we just got to do what we got to do. Now, this is Hassan Al-Anazi, and I don't know where he comes up with this stuff. Look, this guy has had some of the more fascinating tweets to me, and partly because he's apparently in engineering. And he's not some dumb Yahoo guy, okay? Or maybe he is. I don't think he is. I think he's legit. But listen to this: the U.S. Federal Reserve has proposed taking, and wait till you see what I'm going to show you after he says this. The U.S. Federal Reserve has proposed taking ownership of XRP and the Ripple network and blocking retail purchases of XRP as an alternative to existing financial system rather than creating a cryptocurrency. And then this guy's got a David Schwartz addressing this topic at some point. He says they could take possession of Ripple's private network, but there's really no way they could take possession of XRP or the XRP ledger. It's a public resource operated by people all over the globe. They could create their own copy of the system just as they could with any other public ledger system, but then they'd have to compete with systems like Bitcoin and the XRP ledger. If the value of these systems comes from their decentralization, then why would people want to use one owned by the Federal Reserve? The design of the public blockchain systems makes a lot of engineering sacrifices precisely to ensure that they can't be taken over or censored. They have no administrative functions. It wouldn't make sense to take over an existing system and completely destroy its value proposition. What an interesting thing. Now, folks, this right here rolls right into what you've all seen Jimmy Valley's proposal when he sent the letters to the Federal Reserve, and everybody went crazy. Oh, that's crazy, $35,000. And I said, I don't think that's what he was trying to do. I think that he was just trying to protect himself and other XRP holders in the event that our government took the position that we're not allowed to keep it. And I know that always offends people in the audience. Oh, what do you mean we can't keep it? No, I'm not saying you can't keep it. I'm just saying that that's the one thing that's always been in the back of my mind. This video, all the things I'm going to show you in this video kind of go in line with that. Remember, I've told you this before. When they did the bailouts in 2009, all bets are off. That was Pandora's box. They watched Americans willingly go along with it, and to this day, everybody acts like that was what needed to be done, and it's a lie. You start bailouts, and all of a sudden, nobody's held accountable, and anything can be done in an emergency. Anything, okay? Now, before I go into where that goes, in my opinion, I want to show you this video. This is from this guy's channel. It says, advisor to Saudi royals told my family that this caught my attention immediately last night. So I went and watched the first part of the video. Listen to what this guy, he's with Black Swan Capital, I guess is his company. Or does he call himself a Black Swan Capitalist? I don't know. But anyway, listen to what he says. And I don't know, folks, I don't know anything about this channel. I don't know anything about, I'm just telling you that this guy's story captured my attention, so I know it'll capture yours.
Okay, so as far as my story, it really begins in about 2018. We were in, we were here at home and we had an emergency family meeting. We had to come upstairs. It was my stepfather and his contacts in Saudi Arabia. His name is Khalid Al-Sunaid, and he's an advisor to the royal family of Saudi Arabia. So we grew up with these people when we were younger overseas before we moved here, and we had this family emergency meeting. The whole family was told to come, my mother, my sister, very close friends, and they were telling us about this technology called XRP. And they said that it was going to shake the foundation of the financial system, and that at some point later on down the road, that would be adopted globally.
Folks, now this goes hand in hand with what you just saw. Why would XRP be such a threat? The feds know. The Federal Reserve, the SEC, they know that they can do whatever they want to do, but the Saudis don't care. Saudi Arabia, those guys can use it all. You think the U.S. is going to let that go? No. But they can't shut it down.
So my brother and I, that's really when we started our journey into crypto and digital assets and all this stuff. And we started doing our research, and I'm not kidding. It took us about 10 days to realize that XRP really was the answer compared to a lot of the other digital assets that are out there, including Bitcoin.
You know, this really makes me wonder. It really makes me wonder if the guys at Ripple, if negotiations broke down because they knew that the government has to have them. It makes me wonder.
So, it took us roughly 10 days to say, hey, man, Bitcoin is out of the question for this, and let's look at this asset right here. And when we started to discover what really XRP is, we found that it's this unique piece of technology, very strange, can run without internet. Very few people know this. Until now, I don't have answers for why that's possible, but I think we'll get there. And we discovered that this technology
can run without the internet.
The ability to be a neutral bridge asset,
or when the internet goes down,
as well to transfer value from A to B. And the fact that it's neutral raised a lot of questions as far as monetary policy with our central banks currently right now. We started to realize that, okay, we understand that when they slap sanctions on other countries, how they're affecting their currencies and their economies. And we can understand why the world now looks towards like the BRICS nations and this new system we keep talking about, right?
Oh boy, we're a part of something massive, folks. Now, I wanted to show you this because against the backdrop of the two things I just showed you, all the people that say that these charts, now, I'm not saying that the chart shows that. I don't know anything about the charts, but he says the structure of XRP is pointing to 25 as a median price and 160 as an outlier. When I see that, I think, oh, okay, well, that in the scheme of things, that's good, but it's not what I really think, where I really think this is going. So a lot of people think, oh, that's crazy because it hasn't done that yet. Well, I think it's intentionally been held back from doing that yet. But I think there will come a time when they won't be able to hold it back anymore. Now, because I know what I hold, all right? Now, do you remember Jim Rickards? I'll refresh your memory. Before I play this, guys, I should have put them in a different order. Before I play this video, I'm going to play the first part of this. By the way, I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm just going to play the intro. But this is the Jim Rickards video. This is 9 minutes that I put out of Jim Rickards, and he blocked me over this, folks. Jim Rickards did not want this to be shown after a while, I guess.
I was having dinner with a friend not long ago in New York City. We met at a place called Oriole, which is in Midtown. My dinner companion that night was a senior advisor to BlackRock. As you may know, BlackRock is now the largest asset manager on the planet. It directly manages $5 trillion in assets, and it oversees another $11 trillion through its Aladdin platform. That means one firm controls more money than the GDPs of China, Russia, and Japan combined. Anyway, my dinner companion happens to work directly for BlackRock's CEO. As we nursed our white wine and the evening wore on, she let something slip. If I remember her words, she said something like, "They want to tell us we can't sell." What was she talking about? Who was she talking about? I placed a few calls, first to my contacts in Washington, then to a few people on Wall Street. Soon I was on a plane for a series of meetings to London, to Geneva, back to New York, then down to South America. As I began connecting the dots, a pattern emerged. It revealed a network of more than 189 individuals positioned inside the world's major financial institutions. Some of them hold senior positions inside the IMF, World Bank, and every central bank in the G20, including our own Federal Reserve. These elites share one vision, and they're about to make it a reality. That vision is one world order, one world taxation, and one world money.
All right. Now, he describes in there about their plan and how the plan is that you'll wake up one day and you can't access your funds, shut down your bank holiday. So now I want you to watch this. And folks, look, you think, oh, that's my money, all that. Look at what they've done to you over the last 10 years or last 20 years. They've said, oh, okay, we're going to bail out the banks, but we're not going to bail out this industry, this one, and this one. You're going to go bankrupt. They've done that. In recent years, they've said, hey, you have to stay in your house. You can't do this, and this unless you have some kind of a card or whatever. They've also said, hey, you know what? If you don't have certain things done, you can't even keep your job. Okay, so don't think that they can't say no. And now I want you to don't think they can't take things from you just because they say. As any technology, this can be used for good or for evil, and there's going to be a fight because there are evil people and there are good people in this world, folks. So we're going to be on top of this. But to protect myself, there's several things I'm doing, and I'm not just doing a Glint commercial here. I am, but they're one of my sponsors, so I am telling you part of what I do. I am everything you just watched. I'm going to tell you what the only thing I know to do. These are the things I'm doing. I'm not telling you what to do because I'm not a financial advisor. The first thing is I've got money in my Glint account, okay, so that I have my Glint spendable account. This is not a bank account. This is a separate account. So these banks, if they lock my bank account, they're not locking my Glint account. I have my debit MasterCard attached to my Glint account. It's got spendable gold in that account that I can also convert to physical gold if I want to by contacting Glint. So the link to this is in the top of the description of this video. But what I'm also doing is I'm buying physical gold, and I'm making sure that I have plenty of physical cash, okay? But there's one other thing that's important on the crypto side of things. I'm making sure that I have most of what I have on my ledgers, okay, where I control the keys. But then there's one final piece of my puzzle, and this is also one of my sponsors, but when it comes to the government coming after citizens' money, there's one thing I know. And that is politically, these politicians and the government, the last thing that they're going to come after, the most sacred thing that any of us have is our retirement. And so one of the things I'm going to be doing is putting money in my iTrustCapital account because this is what a lot of people don't talk about. iTrustCapital is the one place that I have access to institutional grade custody. In other words, the order goes through and that money goes to institutional grade custody. But more important than that even is that once it's in my iTrustCapital account, that's the last place, in my opinion, that the government's going to go to try to take. In other words, they're not going to if they try to shave money out of my bank account and do a bail-in, the last place on earth that they're going to go to is going to be into one of my retirement accounts. They'll take 20% from everybody's bank accounts before they even think about having the political will to go to anybody's retirement. That's where they could get into a lot of political trouble. And for that reason, I think it's one of the safer places for me. I'm not saying for you. I'm just saying that what I'm doing. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that all bets were off after the financial crisis, and people allowed these people to do bailouts. All bets were off. And that's the fact, Jack.